Imagine, if you will, a world where your thoughts shape your reality, where your imagination is the creative force that molds the very fabric of your existence. This is not a fantasy, my dear friends, but the fundamental truth of our being. For you see, the world you perceive around you is nothing but an outward picture of your inner assumptions. Every circumstance, every event, every person in your life is there because you have imagined it. So now you might be thinking, Wayne, how can this be? How can my mere thoughts and imagination create such profound changes in just 1 week? And to that, I say, time is but an illusion, a construct of the human mind in the realm of spirit. In the kingdom within you, there is no time. There is only the eternal now, the precious present moment in which all possibilities exist simultaneously. As we embark on this journey together, exploring these 5 transformative habits, I want you to shed all preconceived notions of what is possible or impossible, for in the world of imagination, there are no limits, no boundaries, and no obstacles that cannot be overcome. You are about to discover the immense power that has been lying dormant within you, waiting to be awakened and harnessed. The first habit that will revolutionize your life is the practice of living in the end. This, my friends, is the cornerstone of all creation, the very foundation upon which your new life will be built. Living in the end means assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, experiencing in your imagination the reality you desire as if it were already manifest in the physical world. Let me illustrate this profound truth with a simple example. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Instead of focusing on your current state of lack or limitation, you must assume the feeling of already present. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself living in the beautiful home you've always dreamed of. Feel the soft carpet beneath your feet. Smell the fragrant flowers in your garden. Hear the laughter of your loved ones echoing through the spacious rooms. This, my dear friends, is not mere daydreaming or escapism. This is the very act of creation. For you see, your imagination is God in action. It is the creative power of the universe expressing itself through you. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are aligning yourself with the creative forces of the cosmos, setting in motion a series of events that must inevitably lead to the manifestation of your desire. But remember, it is not enough to simply visualize your desire for a few moments and then return to your old patterns of your thought and behavior. You must persist in this new assumption, making it your dominant feeling, your new reality. This is where the power of the second habit comes into play, the art of revision. Revision, my friends, is the magical act of rewriting your past to align with your desired future. It is the recognition that time is fluid, that your memories are not fixed, immutable things, but rather malleable impressions that can be reshaped by the power of your imagination. Let us say that you had an unpleasant encounter with a colleague at work. Instead of replaying this negative experience in your mind, reinforcing feelings of anger or resentment, you have the power to revise this event. Close your eyes and replay the scene in your imagination, but this time, see it unfold exactly as you would have wished. Hear the kind words, feel the warmth of a friendly interaction, experience the mutual respect and understanding. As you practice this habit of revision, you will find that not only does it change your perception of past events, but it also transforms your present and future. For you see, by revising the past, you are altering the very foundation upon which your current reality is built. You are rewriting the script of your life, scene by scene, moment by moment. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Wayne, how can changing my imagination of past events alter what has already happened? And to that I say, what you perceive as the past is nothing but a memory. I thought you are thinking in the present moment. By changing that thought, by revising that memory, you are quite literally altering the past, present, and future in one fell swoop. As you practice these first 2 habits, living in the end and revision, you will begin to notice a shift in your consciousness. The world around you will start to reflect your new assumptions, your revised memories. This is where the third transformative habit comes into play, the cultivation of unwavering faith. Faith, my dear friends, is not blind belief in something outside of yourself. It is not hoping or wishing for a better future. True faith is the absolute conviction that what you have imagined in your mind and felt in your heart must inevitably manifest in your physical reality. It is the unshakable knowing that your desires are already fulfilled in the spiritual realm and are now moving into expression in the world of form. To cultivate this unwavering faith, you must learn to dismiss the evidence of your physical senses when they contradict your desired reality. If you have imagined financial abundance, yet your bank account shows a lack of funds, you must have the courage and conviction to say, "This is but a shadow of the old man. My true reality is one of infinite abundance, and that is what I choose to accept." That and believe this habit of faith requires practice and persistence. It demands that you stand firm in your conviction, even when the entire world seems to argue against it. But I assure you, my friends, that as you strengthen this muscle of faith, you will witness miracles unfold in your life. For faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Now let us turn our attention to the fourth habit, one that is often overlooked but is absolutely crucial in the art of conscious creation, the practice of gratitude. Gratitude, my friends, is not merely a polite social custom or a fleeting emotion. It is a powerful creative force, a state of being that aligns you with the abundance of the universe. When you cultivate an attitude of genuine gratitude, you are acknowledging that you already possess everything you desire. You are recognizing the infinite abundance that surrounds you at every moment. This state of thankfulness opens the floodgates of blessings, attracting more and more reasons to be grateful. Begin each day by counting your blessings before you rise from your bed. Take a few moments to feel deep appreciation for all that you have in your life. Be thankful for the air you breathe, the beating of your heart, the roof over your head, the love of your family and friends. But don't stop there. Express gratitude for the things you desire as if you already possess them. If you desire perfect health, give thanks for your strong, vibrant body. If you seek a loving relationship, feel grateful for the wonderful partner who is already in your life, even if you haven't met them in the physical realm. Yet remember, in the world of imagination, in the kingdom within you, all things already exist. Your gratitude is the bridge that brings these desires into your physical experience. As you practice this habit of gratitude, you will find that your entire perspective on life begins to shift the world around. You will appear more beautiful, more abundant, more filled with opportunities and blessings. You will begin to see evidence of your desired reality everywhere where you look, further strengthening your faith and accelerating the manifestation of yolinga. Now we come to the fifth and final habit, one that ties all the others together and amplifies their power exponentially. The art of letting go, this, my dear friends, is perhaps the most challenging habit to master, but it is also the most liberating and transformative. Letting go means releasing your attachment to the outcome, surrendering your desires to the infinite wisdom of the universe. It means trusting that once you have planted the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of your imagination, nurtured it with the water of your faith, and basked it in the sunlight of your gratitude, you must then step back and allow it to grow in its own time and in its own way. Many of you may be wondering, but never doesn't letting go contradict the idea of living in the end? How can I assume the feeling of my wish fulfilled while also detaching from the outcome? And to that, I say letting go is not about abandoning your desire or ceasing to live in the end. It is about releasing the anxiety, the doubt, and the need to control how and when your desire will manifest. When you truly let go, you enter a state of perfect peace and trust. You know with absolute certainty that your desire is already yours in the spiritual realm, and you are content to allow it to unfold in the physical world in the most beautiful and harmonious way possible. This state of letting go removes all resistance, all doubt, and all fear, creating a clear channel through which your desire can flow and enjoy your experience. Imagine, if you will, that you have ordered a package from a trusted source. You know with certainty that the package has been sent and is on its way to you. You spend every waking moment anxiously checking your mailbox or tracking the package's progress. Of course not. You simply go about your day confident in the knowledge that your package will arrive at the perfect time. This, my friends, is the essence of letting go. As you practice these 5 habits, living in the end, revision, unwavering faith, gratitude, and letting go, you will witness a transformation in your life so profound, so all-encompassing that it will seem nothing short of miraculous. And yet it is not a miracle in the conventional sense. It is simply the natural outcome of aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, of recognizing and embracing your true nature as a divine being capable of shaping reality through the power of your imagination. Now I want you to understand that these habits are not separate, isolated practices. They are interconnected, each one supporting and amplifying the others as you live in the end, assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You naturally cultivate gratitude for what you have imagined as you revise your past. You strengthen your faith in the malleability of reality as you let go. You demonstrate your unwavering trust in the perfect unfolding of your desires. In just 1 week of consistently applying these habits, you will begin to see evidence of your new reality taking shape around you. But remember, my dear friends, time is an illusion in the realm of spirit. Change can happen in an instant. The moment you truly embrace these habits, the moment you fully accept your divine nature and the creative power, your imagination, your entire world can shift in the blink of an eye. Let me share with you a story that illustrates the transformative power of these habits. There was once a man who had struggled with financial difficulties for many years. He lived in a small, cramped apartment, could barely make ends meet, and felt trapped in a job he despised. Then he discovered these 5 habits and decided to apply them with unwavering commitment. For 1 week, he dedicated himself to living in the end. Every night before sleep and every morning upon waking, he would close his eyes and imagine himself living in a beautiful home, enjoying financial abundance and working in a fulfilling career. He felt the joy, the freedom, the sense of security that came with this new reality. He revised his past, reimagining his childhood as one of abundance and opportunity in his mind. He rewrote every memory of lack or limitation, replacing them with experiences of plenty and success. He cultivated unwavering faith, dismissing any doubts or negative thoughts that arose, affirming to himself, "I am now living my ideal life, my success is assured." Throughout the day, he practiced gratitude, giving thanks for the abundance that surrounded him, even if his physical circumstances hadn't yet changed. He expressed heartfelt appreciation for his imagined wealth, his dream home, his perfect job, feeling the emotions as if these things were already his. And finally, he mastered the art of letting go. He released his anxiety about how or when his desires would manifest, trusting in the perfect timing of the universe. He went about his days with a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that his new reality was already secured in the spiritual realm. Now you might expect me to tell you that after 1 week, this man suddenly won the lottery or received a large inheritance. But that is not how the law of assumption works. Instead, something far more profound occurred. The man's entire perception of his life transformed. He began to see opportunities where before he had only seen obstacles. His confidence soared, and he found himself performing better at work, leading to a promotion and a significant raise. His new positive attitude attracted people who could help him advance his career. An acquaintance offered him a chance to invest in a promising business venture, which he seized with both hands. Within a month, he had moved into a larger, more comfortable apartment. Within 3 months, he had started his own successful business, and within a year, he was living in the very home he had imagined during that transformative week. You see, my friends, the external changes in this man's life were merely reflections of the internal changes he had made through these 5 habits. By assuming the feeling of his wish fulfilled, by revising his past, by cultivating unwavering faith, by practicing gratitude, and by letting go, he had literally transformed himself into a new person, one whose reality matched his desires. Now I can sense that some of you may be thinking, but Wayne, surely it can't be that simple. Surely there must be more to it than just imagining and feeling. And to that I say, yes, it is that simple. And no, there is nothing more to it. The power of creation lies within you, within your capacity to imagine and feel everything else. All the actions, all the apparent hard work flows naturally from that initial creative act of imagination. Consider the words of the great William Blake, "What is now proved was only imagine everything in your world from the chair you're sitting on to the most advanced technology began as a thought, an idea, a spark of imagination in someone's mind." You, my dear friends, have that same creative power within you. You are not merely a passive observer of reality. You are the author of your life story. As we near the conclusion of our time together, I want to impress upon you the urgency of applying these habits in your life. Not delay. Do not procrastinate. Do not tell yourself that you will start tomorrow. The time to begin is now. This very moment, for in truth, this moment is all that exists. The past is gone. The future is yet to be, but in this eternal now, you have the power to reshape your entire world. Begin tonight as you lay your head upon your pillow. Close your eyes and enter the state akin to sleep, that drowsy, quiet state where your conscious mind relaxes and your subconscious becomes receptive. In this state, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. See yourself living the life you desire. Feel the emotions associated with having your dreams realized. As you drift off to sleep, carry this feeling with you into your slumber, for your subconscious mind never sleeps, and it is in these quiet hours of the night that it works most powerfully to bring your assumptions into reality. When you awaken in the morning, before you rise from your bed, revisit this feeling. Spend a few moments in gratitude for the new day and for the fulfillment of your desires throughout your day. Whenever you have a spare moment, while waiting in line during your lunch break, as you commute to and from work, practice these habits. Live in the end, revise any unpleasant experiences. Cultivate your faith, express gratitude, and let go of any anxiety or doubt. Remember, my friends, consistency is key. These habits are not a one-time exercise, but a new way of life. They require practice, dedication, and persistence, but I assure you, the rewards are beyond anything you can currently imagine. For as you master these habits, you master the very art of living, you become conscious creators, divine beings expressing the infinite power of the universe through your thoughts and feelings. In closing, I want to remind you of a profound truth. You are not bound by your past, by your current circumstances, or by what others think is possible for you. You are bound only by your own imagination and your willingness to assume the feeling of your wish is fulfilled. The life you dream of is not somewhere out there in a distant future. It exists now in this very moment within you. So go forth, my dear friends, and apply these 5 habits with all the intensity and conviction you can muster. Live in the end, revise your past, cultivate unwavering faith, practice gratitude, and learn to let go. Do this, and I promise you, in just 1 week, you will see your world begin to transform. And as you persist in these habits, you will continue to witness miracles unfold in your life, day after day, week after week, until you stand in awe of the magnificent reality you have created. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. All that you seek, all the love, all the abundance, all the joy, all the success, it is already yours. You need only to claim it, to assume it, to embody it, for you are the operant power. You are the divine creative force expressing itself in human form. Embrace this truth, live from this understanding, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Go now and be the creator of your world, for in the words of the immortal bard, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely play as you, my friends, are not just players in this grand drama of life. You are the playwright, the director, and the star of your own magnificent story. Write it well, direct it with purpose, and play your part with all the passion and conviction you can muster. The curtain rises on your new life. Now step onto the stage of your transformed reality with confidence, with joy, and with the unshakable knowledge that you are the author of your destiny. The power is yours, the time is now, and the only limit is your imagination. Embrace these 5 habits, embody them fully, and watch as your life changes in just 1 week and continues to evolve into a masterpiece of your own creation. Thank you. Bless you, and may your journey of conscious creation bring you all the joy, abundance, and fulfillment your heart desires. Remember, it is done. It is finished. Your new life awaits you. Claim it now with every fiber of your being and step into the glorious reality that is your divine birthright. The world is yours, shaped by your imagination, molded by your assumptions, and brought to life by the power of your consciousness. Go forth and create miracles, for that is who you truly are, miracle workers, divine creators, gods in human form. The stage is set, the lights are on, and your magnificent performance begins now. Bravo, my friends, bravo. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have everything they desire while others struggle their entire lives? The difference isn't luck, intelligence, or even hard work. It's something far more powerful, something I discovered that transformed my life in just 7 days. Today, I'm going to share with you the 5 habits that will revolutionize your existence. But before I do, I need you to understand something crucial. Everything you're about to hear has been tested, proven, and verified not just by me, but by thousands who have applied these principles. Let's start with habit number 1, the morning mental diet. This habit alone has the power to reshape your entire reality. Here's exactly how to do it. When you first wake up, don't move. Keep your eyes closed. For the next 15 minutes, you're going to enter what I call the creation zone. In this state, your brain waves are perfectly aligned for programming your subconscious mind. Begin by feeling your desired reality. Notice I'm not saying visualize, I'm saying feel. If you want financial abundance, feel the sensation of checking your bank account and seeing millions. Feel the texture of the leather seats in your dream car. Feel the ocean breeze on your face as you sit on the balcony of your beach house. I remember when I first started this practice. I was sleeping on a hard mattress in a cramped room, but every morning I would feel the sensation of waking up in my dream home. I felt the plush carpet under my feet, the warmth of the morning suns feeding through floor-to-ceiling windows, the peace of achieving everything I desire. Within days, my external reality began shifting to match my internal experience. This isn't coincidence, it's law. Habit number 2, the constant state. This habit is about maintaining your desired state throughout the day. Most people let their circumstances dictate their state of mind. We're going to reverse that. When you walk, walk as if you've already achieved everything you desire. When you talk, speak from the perspective of someone who has it all. When you breathe, breathe as if you're already living your dream life. This isn't pretending, it's assuming the natural state of who you really are. Think about how you carry yourself if you were already successful. How would your posture be? How would you interact with others? How would you respond to challenges? I practice this everywhere, at the grocery store, in meetings, while driving. Instead of letting my current circumstances affect my state, I maintain the feeling of my wish fulfilled. The results were immediate and astounding. Habit number 3, the financial feeling. This habit transformed my relationship with money overnight. Every time you interact with money, spending it, receiving it, even thinking about it, maintain the feeling of unlimited abundance. Here's the key to the financial feeling. When you pay bills, feel genuine gratitude for your ability to circulate money. When you buy something, feel the joy of endless prosperity. Even when you see expensive items, feel the natural comfort of knowing you can easily afford them. I remember standing in front of luxury stores, feeling the natural sensation of being able to buy anything I desire, not from a place of lack or wanting, but from a place of knowing it was already mine. This leads us to habit number 4, the nightly review. This habit is what I call a subconscious programming session. Before sleep, your mind enters a highly receptive state. This is when you can implant your desires directly into your subconscious. Lie in bed and replay your perfect day. Not the day you just had, but the day you want to have. Feel yourself waking up in your dream home. Experience the satisfaction of achieving your goals. Feel the joy of your ideal relationships. I would lie there feeling the sensation of closing million-dollar deals, of impacting thousands of lives, of living in complete abundance. I didn't just imagine these scenes, I felt them with every fiber of my being. The 5th habit is what I call the identity shift. This is perhaps the most powerful of all. Instead of trying to change your circumstances, you change who you are at the core level. Most people try to change their lives from the outside in. They think if I get more money, a better job, or a perfect relationship, they'll finally become the person they want to be, but that's backwards. You must first become that person in your mind. Feel what it's like to be confident, successful, and fulfilled. Don't ask yourself what you need to do to become successful. Ask yourself what a successful person would do, and then naturally do those things. I remember the exact moment this clicked for me. I stopped trying to become successful and simply assumed the identity of someone who already was. My walk changed, my clock changed, my decisions changed, all naturally, all effortlessly. These 5 habits work together in perfect harmony. The morning mental diet programs your day. The constant state maintains the programming. The financial feeling transforms your relationship with abundance. The nightly review deepens the impression, and the identity shift makes it all permanent. But here's what most people don't understand. These habits aren't about changing your actions. They're about changing your state of consciousness. When your consciousness changes, your actions change automatically. Think about it. How does a wealthy person make decisions? How does a confident person handle challenges? How does a successful person view opportunities? When you assume these states of consciousness, you naturally take the actions that create these results. Let me share with you how these habits create lasting transformation. Most people try to change their lives through willpower and struggle, but that's like trying to push a boulder uphill. These habits work with the natural laws of consciousness. Consider this every morning when you practice the mental diet. You're actually reprogramming your subconscious mind. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined with feeling. It simply accepts whatever you impress upon it. I discovered that the key is persistence. When I first started, my logical mind would argue, saying this isn't real. But I persisted in maintaining the feeling of my desired reality. Within days, my external world began rearranging itself to match my internal state. Let me show you how to deepen these habits with the constant state. You must understand that every moment is an opportunity to reinforce your new reality. When you're standing in line at the coffee shop, feel wealthy. When you're stuck in traffic, feel successful. When you're waiting for an elevator, feel accomplished. I remember catching myself slipping back into old patterns of thought. But instead of fighting these thoughts, I would gently return to my desired state. It's like training a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it becomes. The financial feeling requires a complete shift in how you view money. Most people feel tension, worry, or lack when dealing with money. You must train yourself to feel relaxed, confident, and abundant in all financial situations. When I began this practice, I would walk into expensive stores and feel completely at home. I would look at luxury cars and feel the natural sensation of ownership. I would read about million-dollar deals and feel completely comfortable with those numbers. The nightly review becomes more powerful when you add emotional intensity to your scenes. Don't just passively observe your desired reality. Be fully immersed in it. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, experience the emotions. I would spend hours perfecting my scenes, making them more vivid, more real, more alive. The key is to feel the naturalness of your desired state. It shouldn't feel like fantasy. It should feel like memory. The identity shift is where all these habits culminate. You're not just changing your thoughts or actions. You're changing who you are at the deepest level. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about awakening to who you truly are. Think about how master pianist plays. They don't think about each note. They express their mastery naturally. That's how these habits should feel. They should become as natural as breathing. Let me reveal something profound about these habits that most people never realize. Every single moment of your day is either reinforcing your old reality or creating your new one. There is no neutral ground. When you're practicing the morning mental diet, you're not just daydreaming. You're actually selecting which version of reality you'll experience. Think of it like tuning a radio to a specific frequency. The station you tune into determines what you'll hear. I discovered that the key to making this habit unstoppable is to focus on the feeling tone of your desire. If you want wealth, don't just imagine money. Feel the security, the freedom, the peace that comes with abundance. Make it so real that your palms tingle with the sensation. The constant state becomes even more powerful when you understand this. Your current circumstances are just shadows of past thinking. They have no power to dictate your state unless you give them that power. This was a game changer for me. When I faced challenges or setbacks, instead of reacting to them, I would immediately shift to the feeling of my desire fulfilled. If someone questioned my goals, I maintained my state. If circumstances seemed contrary to my desires, I persisted in my chosen state. Here's something critical about the financial feeling that transformed my entire relationship with money. Money is just frozen desire. When you maintain the feeling of abundance, you're actually melting that frozen energy and allowing it to flow freely in your life. I remember standing in line at the grocery store watching others stress about prices. but I trained myself to feel wealthy regardless of my bank balance. Every transaction became an opportunity to circulate abundance, to feel the joy of prosperity. The nightly review becomes magnetic when you add this dimension. As you're reviewing your perfect day, feel the satisfaction of already having lived it. Don't preview it, review it. This subtle shift makes all the difference. I would lie in bed feeling the profound gratitude of another successful day. Even before that day had physically manifested, I felt the handshakes, heard the congratulations, experienced the joy of achievements as if they had already happened. The identity shift deepens when you realize this truth. You're not becoming someone new, you're remembering who you truly are. This isn't about change, it's about recognition. You're simply recognizing your true unlimited nature. Most people think success is about doing, but it's really about being. When you shift your identity, the doing follows naturally. I stopped trying to figure out how to become successful and simply started being successful in my mind and emotions. Here's something few understand about these habits. They work on the principle of assumption. When you assume something is true, your subconscious mind must make it so. It has no choice. It's like giving it a direct command. Let me share something revolutionary about these habits that changed everything for me. Most people think time is linear, that tomorrow comes after today. But when you master these habits, you realize time is actually simultaneous. All possibilities exist now. The morning mental diet becomes exponentially more powerful when you grasp this. You're not creating something new. You're selecting from infinite existing possibilities. Every morning as you lie there feeling your desired reality, you're actually tuning into a version of you that already has everything you want. I discovered that consistency is crucial. Even if you don't feel like doing it, even if your logical mind argues against it, you must maintain these practices. It's like building a fire. You can't light it once and expect it to burn forever. You must tend to it. The constant state takes on new meaning when you understand this principle. Your external world is nothing but your internal world pushed out. Everything you see, every person you meet, every circumstance you encounter is simply showing you your previous state of consciousness. This was mind-blowing for me. I realized that when I maintained my desired state throughout the day, I wasn't just pretending. I was actually shifting the entire universe to match my consciousness. Every moment became an opportunity for transformation. Let me share a deeper aspect of the financial feeling that most never grasp. Money is just a symbol of exchange, but abundance is a state of being. When you maintain the feeling of abundance, you're not just attracting money, you're becoming the very essence of prosperity. I remember walking into stores and feeling completely different about prices. Instead of seeing something as expensive, I would feel genuine appreciation for its value. Instead of wondering if I could afford something, I naturally knew everything was within my means. The nightly review becomes transformative. When you add this dimension, as you're reviewing your perfect day, feel the relief of knowing it's done. Feel the satisfaction of completion. Feel the natural assumption that this is simply your way of life now. I would lie there feeling the weight of achievement, the warmth of accomplishment, the peace of knowing my desires were already fulfilled. This wasn't hope or wishful thinking. It was a knowing beyond all doubt. The identity shift deepens when you realize this truth. Every version of you already exists. The successful you, the wealthy you, the confident you, they're all present now. When you are not creating these versions, you're selecting which one to experience. Think about this. When you change channels on a TV, you're not creating new programs. You're tuning into broadcasts that already exist. Similarly, when you shift your identity, you're tuning into a version of you that already exists in infinite possibility. These habits work together in perfect harmony because they all operate on the same principle, the principle of consciousness. Whatever you're conscious of, you must experience. Whatever you feel is real must become real. Let me reveal something that will fundamentally change how you understand these habits. Most people think success requires years of hard work. But I discovered that success happens in an instant. The instant you fully accept your desired state is real. Think about this when you're practicing the morning mental diet. You're not just visualizing a better future, you're actually stepping into a new dimension of yourself. Each morning becomes a portal to infinite possibilities. This is why the first 15 minutes of your day are sacred. I remember the exact moment this clicked for me. Instead of starting my day with worry and rush preparation, I would lie there in complete serenity, feeling my desired reality with such intensity that my current circumstances seemed like a distant dream. Here's a crucial aspect of the constant state that most miss. Your state of consciousness is your real environment. The physical world you see is just a shadow of past days. When you maintain your desired state throughout the day, you're actually living in your new reality because it's visible to others. Let me share something profound about maintaining your state. Every person you encounter, every situation you face, is actually an opportunity to reinforce your new reality. When someone talks about limitation, silently maintain your state of abundance. When circumstances appear challenging, intensify your feeling of success. The financial feeling becomes revolutionary when you understand this. Money doesn't flow to you, it flows through you. When you maintain the feeling of unlimited abundance, you become a channel for wealth. Every financial transaction becomes a celebration of prosperity. I would look at my bank account with the same feeling regardless of the numbers shown. I would pay bills with genuine joy, knowing that every dollar spent would return multiplied. I would treat myself to quality experiences, maintaining the natural feeling that I could afford anything I truly desire. The nightly review takes on new power when you grasp this. Your subconscious mind is most receptive in the last moments before sleep. This is when you can impress your desires most deeply. It's like programming tomorrow while you sleep. I would create scenes so vivid, so real, that my physical reality seemed like the dream. I would feel the texture of success, hear the sounds of achievement, experience the emotions of fulfillment with such intensity that my subconscious had no choice but to accept them as real. The identity shift becomes unstoppable when you realize this. You are not your past thoughts, your current circumstances, or your future hopes. You are pure consciousness, capable of assuming any state you desire. This is true power. Most people try to change their lives by changing their actions, but I discovered that when you change your identity, your actions change automatically. You don't have to force yourself to act successful. You naturally do what a successful person would do because you're operating from that state of consciousness. Here's something crucial about these habits. They're not separate practices, they're different aspects of the same truth. The truth that your consciousness is the only reality. Everything else, your body, your environment, your circumstances, is just consciousness pushed out into four. The morning mental diet becomes transformative when you realize this. In those first moments of waking, your brain operates in theta waves, the same state heat by advanced meditators. This is why those 15 minutes are more powerful than hours of affirmations during the day. I remember experiencing this profound truth during these morning sessions. I wasn't just imagining success, I was actually experiencing success at a neurological level. My brain couldn't distinguish between my imagined reality and physical reality, creating new neural pathways of achievement. Here's the deeper aspect of the constant state that changed everything. Every emotion you feel throughout the day is actually a choice. When you understand this, you realize you can choose to feel successful, wealthy, and fulfilled regardless of external circumstances. Think about this, your current reality is just a shadow of past emotional states. When you maintain your desired emotional state consistently, you're actually creating your future reality. Every moment becomes a point of power, a chance to reinforce your new state of being. The financial feeling transforms when you grasp this principle. Money is just crystallized consciousness. When you maintain the feeling of abundance, you're actually altering the energy field around you. This is why opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere when you master this habit. I discovered that every financial transaction is actually an energy exchange. When I bought coffee, paid rent, or made any purchase, I maintained the feeling that I was circulating abundance, not losing money. This subtle shift created a constant flow of prosperity in my life. The nightly review becomes magical when you understand this. Your subconscious mind processes information in symbols and feelings. When you review your perfect day before sleep, you're actually feeding your subconscious mind a new blueprint for reality. I would lie there feeling the satisfaction of closed deals, the joy of achievement, the peace of financial freedom. But here's the key. I wouldn't just imagine these scenes, I would feel them with such intensity that my body responded as if they were actually happening. The identity shift reaches new depths when you realize this truth. Your identity isn't something you create. It's something you select from infinite possibilities. Just as a radio can tune into different stations, your consciousness can tune into different versions of you. This understanding transformed how I approach change. Instead of trying to become something new, I simply tuned into the version of me that already had everything I desired. The struggle disappeared, replaced by a natural assumption of my chosen state. Here's something profound about these habits. They work on the principle of resonance. Whatever state you maintain consistently becomes your dominant frequency, and the universe must respond by bringing you experiences that match that frequency. The morning mental diet becomes even more crucial. When you understand this, those first 15 minutes are actually programming the quantum field. When you feel your desired reality with intensity, you're not just affecting your mind, you're reorganizing the very fabric of reality. I discovered that during these morning sessions, maintaining pure focus is essential. Any doubt, any questioning of how to create static in the quantum field, the key is to feel with such completeness that questions become irrelevant. You simply know it's done. Here's something profound about the constant state, that if you understand every moment of your day is a choice point in quantum reality, each time you maintain your desired state despite contrary evidence, you're actually collapsing quantum possibilities into your chosen reality. Think about this. When you're in line at a store, sitting in traffic, or facing any situation that would normally trigger negative emotions, you have a quantum opportunity. By maintaining your desired state, you're actually selecting which parallel reality you'll experience next. The financial feeling becomes extraordinary when you grasp this principle. Money is just frozen time and energy. When you maintain the feeling of unlimited abundance, you're actually altering the quantum field that governs financial flow. I remember walking past expensive stores, looking at luxury items and feeling complete ownership, not from a place of wanting, but from a place of having. This wasn't pretense, it was selecting from infinite quantum possibilities the reality where these things were already mine. The nightly review takes on cosmic significance when you understand this during sleep. Your consciousness interfaces directly with the quantum field. Your nightly scene review isn't just programming your mind, it's programming reality itself. I would lie there feeling the absolute naturalness of my desires fulfilled. I discovered that the key isn't to reach for the feeling, but to settle into it like sinking into a comfortable chair. The more natural it feels, the more quickly it manifests. The identity shift becomes reality-altering when you grasp this truth. You are not a physical being trying to affect the quantum field. You are the quantum field expressing itself as a physical being. This understanding changes everything. Most people think they need to overcome their circumstances. But I discovered that circumstances are just crystallized consciousness. When you shift your identity at the quantum level, circumstances must shift to match your new frequency. Here's something revolutionary about these habits. They work because they align you with the fundamental nature of reality. Reality isn't solid. It's a responsive field of infinite possibility, constantly shaped by consciousness. Think about this. Every great achievement in history first existed as a state of consciousness in someone's mind. The Wright brothers felt the reality of flight before planes existed. Every inventor, every innovator, every achiever first lived their desire in consciousness. Before we delve into these rules, let us first understand the nature of attachment itself. In the world of Caesar, we are taught from an early age that our happiness, our very sense of self, is dependent on others. We are conditioned to believe that our worth is measured by the affection and approval of those around us. This, my dear friends, is the great illusion that keeps us bound to a life of limitation and suffering. But I say unto you, true freedom lies not in clinging to others, but in recognizing the divinity within yourself. For you have God made manifest the very essence of creation expressing itself in human form. And in this realization lies the power to detach from all external sources of validation and love. Now, let us turn our attention to the first rule of emotional detachment. Recognize the I am within. This rule, my beloved listeners, is the foundation upon which all else is built. For until you truly understand and embody the I am presence within you, you will forever be at the mercy of external circumstances and relationships. The I am is not some distant, unknowable force. It is the very core of your being, the divine spark that animates your existence. It is the God within, the source of all creation, and the wellspring of infinite possibility. When you say I am, you are invoking the name of God. For did not the scriptures tell us I am that I am? This is the name by which the divine identified itself to Moses, and is the name by which you must identify yourself in every moment of your existence. To emotionally detach from someone, you must first attach yourself wholly and completely to the I am within. This is not a rejection of love or connection, but rather recognition that all love, all connection, all fulfillment comes from within. Imagine, if you will, a beautiful oak tree. Its branches reach towards the heavens, its leaves dance in the sunlight. But what gives this tree its strength, its very life? Is it not the roots hidden beneath the earth, drawing nourishment from the soil? So too must you be rooted in the I am, drawing your strength and sustenance not from the fleeting affections of others, but from the eternal wellspring of divinity within. Practice this, my dear friends. In every moment of your day, affirm the I am. Say to yourself, I am love, I am peace, I am fulfillment. Feel the power of these words resonating through every cell of your being. For in doing so, you are aligning yourself with the creative force of the universe. As you strengthen your connection to the I am, you will find that your need for emotional validation from others begins to diminish. Like a candle whose flame grows ever brighter, you will become a source of light unto yourself and others. But remember, this is not a practice of isolation or disconnection. Rather, it is the foundation for true, unconditional love. For when you are firmly rooted in the I am, you can extend love to others without expectation or attachment. You become a channel for divine love, allowing it to flow through you freely, unobstructed by fear or need. Now let us move on to the second rule of emotional detachment, leave in the end. This rule, my dear listeners, is the very essence of creation. For what you experience in your physical reality is but a shadow, a reflection of what you have already accepted as true in your imagination. To emotionally detach from someone, you must live in the end of complete emotional freedom and self-sufficiency. You must see yourself in your mind's eye as one who is whole, complete, and fulfilled, independent of any external relationship or circumstance. Close your eyes for a moment, if you will, and imagine yourself standing tall, radiating confidence and inner peace. See yourself moving through your day with grace and ease, unaffected by the opinions or actions of others. Feel the joy and content that comes from knowing that you are the source of your own happiness. This, my friends, is living in the end. It is not a denial of your current circumstances, but rather a recognition of the power of your imagination to shape your reality. For as you persist in this vision of emotional freedom, you will find that your outer world begins to conform to this inner truth. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. What you hold as true in your imagination must, by the very laws of creation, manifest in your experience. Therefore, if you continue to imagine yourself as emotionally dependent on another, you will continue to experience that dependency in your life. But if you dare to imagine yourself as emotionally free, as one who is complete unto themselves, then that is what you shall become. The person from whom you wish to detach will either fall away naturally from your life, or your relationship with them will transform into one of mutual respect and freedom. Practice this living in the end daily. Before you sleep at night and as you wake in the morning, spend a few moments in quiet contemplation, experiencing the feeling of being emotionally detached and self-sufficient. Feel the relief, the lightness, the joy that comes with this state of being. As you persist in this practice, you will find that your emotional reactions to the person begin to change. Where once there was attachment and need, there will be understanding and compassion. Where once there was fear of loss, there will be an unshackable knowing of your own completeness. Now let us explore the third rule of emotional detachment. Assume the state of the wish fulfilled. This rule, my dear friends, is closely related to living in the end, but it goes a step further. It asks you not only to imagine the end state, but to fully assume it as your current reality. This is the art of what I call thinking from the end rather than thinking of the end. To emotionally detach from someone, you must assume the state of one who is already detached. This is not a matter of pretending or forcing yourself to feel a certain way. Rather, it is about stepping into a new state of consciousness, a new self-concept. Imagine, if you will, that you are an actor on a stage. Up until now, you have been playing the role of someone emotionally attached and dependent. But now you are given a new role, that of someone who is emotionally free and self-sufficient. Your task is to fully embody this new character, to think, feel, and act as they would. How would this emotionally detached version of yourself move through the world? How would they speak? How would they react to situations? How would they feel about themselves and others? Assume these qualities fully, not as something to be achieved in the future, but as your present reality. This assumption of the wish fulfilled is not about denial or suppression of your current feelings. It is about shifting your focus and your energy to a new state of being. It is about choosing moment by moment to align yourself with the version of you that is already emotionally detached. As you assume this state, you may find that your thoughts and feelings towards the person begin to shift naturally. Where once there was a constant preoccupation with their actions and reactions, there is now a calming difference. Where once there was a need for their approval or affection, there is now a deep sense of self-approval and self-love. Remember, my dear listeners, that your assumption, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Therefore, guard your assumptions carefully. Do not allow yourself to slip back into the old state of attachment. If you find your thoughts drifting towards dependency or need, gently but firmly bring them back to the state of the wish fulfilled. This practice may feel challenging at first, especially if you have been in a state of emotional attachment for a long time. But I assure you, with persistence and faith, it will become more natural. For you are not creating a new reality, but simply aligning yourself with the truth of your being, a being that is whole, complete, and free. As you continue to assume the state of emotional detachment, you will find that your interactions with the person begin to change. You may notice that you no longer react to their words or actions with the same intensity. You may find that you can engage with them from a place of calm neutrality, free from the need to control or change them. This, my friends, is the power of assumption. It is the key to not only emotional detachment, but to all creation. For as you assume, so shall it be done unto you. Now, let us turn our attention to the fourth rule of emotional detachment. Release all resistance. This rule, my beloved listeners, may seem paradoxical at first. For in your desire to detach, you may find yourself resisting the very feelings and thoughts you wish to release. But I say unto you, what you resist persists. The key to true detachment lies not in fighting against your attachment, but in releasing all resistance to what is. Consider, if you will, the nature of a river. It flows effortlessly towards the sea, not by pushing against the rocks in its path, but by flowing around them. So, too much you learn to flow around the obstacles of attachment rather than struggling against them. Resistance often manifests as judgment, judgment of yourself for feeling attached, judgment of the other person for their actions, judgment of the situation itself. But judgment, my dear friends, is the antithesis of detachment. It keeps you bound to the very thing you wish to release. Instead, practice acceptance. Accept your feelings of attachment without condemnation. Accept the other person exactly as they are, without trying to change them. Accept the situation as it is, without wishing it were different. This acceptance is not resignation or passivity. It is not about liking or approving of everything. Rather, it is about acknowledging what is without adding the extra layer of emotional resistance. It is about saying yes to the present moment, even as you work towards creating a different future. As you release resistance, you may find that many of the painful emotions associated with attachment begin to dissolve naturally. For it is not the attachment itself that causes suffering, but your resistance to it. When you cease to fight against what is, you open yourself to the flow of life, allowing transformation to occur effortlessly. Practice this release of resistance in every moment. When you notice yourself tensing up emotionally, whether in thought of the person or in their presence, consciously relax. Let go of the need to control the situation or the other person's behavior. Allow yourself to simply be, without judgment or expectation. This practice of non-resistance extends to your thoughts as well. When thoughts of attachment arise, do not try to push them away or replace them with positive thoughts. Instead, observe them with detached awareness. Watch them arise and pass away like clouds in the sky without getting caught up in their story. As you cultivate this attitude of non-resistance, you will find that your emotional energy begins to shift. The intensity of your attachment will begin to dissolve not through force or with power, but through the gentle power of acceptance and allowing. Remember, my dear friends, that emotional detachment is not about becoming cold or unfeeling. It is about freeing yourself from the compulsive need for external validation and control. It is about creating space for true love to flourish, love that is given freely without expectation or attachment. Now let us explore the fifth and final rule of emotional detachment: cultivate inner stillness. This rule, my beloved listeners, is the culmination of all that we have discussed, for it is in the depths of inner stillness that true detachment is realized, not as a concept or a practice, but as your very nature. Inner stillness is not the absence of thought or emotion. It is the presence of awareness, pure, unbounded, and eternally free. It is the discovery of your true self beyond all attachments and identifications. To cultivate inner stillness, you must learn to step back from the constant chatter of your mind. You must create space between your thoughts, between your breaths, between your heartbeats. In this space lies the key to emotional freedom. Begin by setting aside time each day for quiet contemplation. Find a comfortable place where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and turn your attention inward. Focus on your breath, feeling the gentle rise and fall of your chest. As thoughts arise, and they will, for that is the nature of the mind, simply observe them without judgment. Do not try to stop your thoughts or change them. Instead, watch them come and go like waves on the ocean of your consciousness. As you continue this practice, you may begin to notice moments of profound stillness, moments when the chatter of your mind subsides, and you are left with a deep sense of peace and presence. These moments, however brief, are glimpses of your true nature, the unchanging awareness that underlies all experience. From this place of inner stillness, emotional detachment arises naturally, for in the depths of your being you recognize that you are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your attachments. You are the awareness in which all these arise and pass away. As you cultivate this inner stillness, you will find that your emotional reactions begin to lose their grip. The person from whom you wish to detach no longer has the power to disturb your peace. Their words and actions may still create ripples on the surface of your mind, but they cannot touch the depths of your being. This inner stillness becomes your refuge, a place of peace and clarity to which you can return at any moment. When you feel yourself becoming entangled in attachment or emotional reactivity, simply take a deep breath and reconnect with this still center within you. From this place of stillness, you can engage with the world and with the person from whom you're detaching with grace and equanimity. You can love without attachment, care without dependency, and relate without losing yourself. Remember, my dear friends, that this inner stillness is not something you need to create or achieve. It is already present within you, waiting to be recognized. Your task is simply to remove the obstacles, the mental and emotional noise that obscure its presence. As you practice these 5 rules, recognizing the I am within, living in the end, assuming the state of the wish fulfilled, releasing all resistance, and cultivating inner stillness, you will find that emotional detachment becomes not just a goal to be achieved, but a natural expression of your true self. Now, my beloved listeners, I want you to understand that this journey of emotional detachment is not a linear process. It is not something that happens overnight or in a steady, predictable progression. Rather, it is a dance, a beautiful, sometimes challenging dance between your habitual patterns of attachment and your growing awareness of your true, detached nature. There will be moments of profound clarity and freedom where you feel completely detached and at peace. Cherish these moments, for they are glimpses of your true potential. But do not become attached to them. For attachment to detachment is still attachment. There will also be moments when you feel as though you've slipped back into old patterns of emotional dependency. Do not judge yourself for these moments. They are not failures, but opportunities for deeper understanding and growth. Each time you notice yourself becoming entangled in attachment, it is an invitation to practice these principles in you. Remember, emotional detachment is not about suppressing your feelings or becoming indifferent to others. It is about freeing yourself from the compulsive need for external validation and control. It is about creating space for true love to flourish. Love that is given freely, without expectation or attachment. As you continue on this journey, you may find that your relationship with the person from whom you're detaching begins to transform. Without the weight of your emotional expectations and needs, they may feel freer to be themselves. You may discover a new kind of relationship emerging, one based on mutual respect and genuine care rather than dependency and fear. Or you may find that as you detach emotionally, the relationship naturally falls away. For relationships built solely on attachment, and need cannot survive in the light of true emotional freedom. Trust in this process, for it is the natural unfolding of your alignment with your true self. Throughout this journey, be gentle with yourself. Emotional detachment is not about forcing yourself to feel or not feel certain things. It is about allowing yourself to be exactly as you are in each moment, while holding the vision of your emotionally free self. Practice self-compassion as you navigate this path. When you notice yourself slipping into old patterns of attachment, rather than berating yourself, offer yourself the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Speak to yourself with words of encouragement and love. Remember also to celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Each moment of awareness, each choice to align with your detached self is a victory. Acknowledge these moments, for they are the building blocks of your transformation. As you move through your days practicing these 5 rules of emotional detachment, you may begin to notice changes, not just in your relationship with the specific person you're detaching from, but in all your relationships and interactions. You may find yourself becoming less reactive in general, less easily swayed by the opinions and actions of others. You may discover a new sense of inner peace and stability that remains constant regardless of external circumstances. This, my dear friends, is the true gift of emotional detachment. It is not just about freeing yourself from one specific attachment, but about realizing your inherent freedom in all situations. As you continue to practice, you may find that the very concept of detachment begins to shift. What once seemed like a goal to be achieved becomes simply your natural state of being. You realize that you were never truly attached in the first place. That attachment was merely a story you were telling yourself. In this realization lies true freedom. For when you know yourself as the unchanging awareness beneath all thoughts and emotions, what is there to attach to or detach from? You are already complete, already whole, already free. From this place of inner freedom, you can engage fully with life without becoming entangled. You can love deeply without losing yourself. You can care profoundly without being controlled by your caring. This, my beloved listeners, is the promise of emotional detachment. It is not a dry intellectual concept, but a living reality that you can embody in every moment of your existence. As we near the end of our exploration, I want to remind you that the power to emotionally detach lies entirely within you. It is not dependent on the actions or reactions of others. It does not require the cooperation or understanding of the person from whom you're detaching. It is a choice that you make moment by moment to align with your true free nature. In every interaction, in every thought of the person, you have the opportunity to practice these principles. Each moment is a new beginning, a fresh chance to choose detachment over attachment, freedom over dependency. Remember, the world around you is a reflection of your inner state. As you cultivate emotional detachment within yourself, you will find that your outer world begins to mirror this inner freedom. Relationships that were once sources of pain and struggle may transform into sources of joy and mutual growth, or they may fall away entirely, making space for new, more aligned connections to enter your life. Trust in this process, my dear friends. Trust in the wisdom of your own being. For as you align yourself with the truth of who you are, a divine, infinite being, complete unto yourself, All things must rearrange themselves to match this inner knowing. And so as we come to the close of this discourse, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on what you've heard. Feel the truth of these words resonating within you. Know that the power to emotionally detach, to free yourself from all limiting attachments, is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Go forth from this place with a renewed commitment to your emotional freedom. Practice these 5 rules diligently. Recognize the I am within. Liven the end. Assume the state of the wish fulfilled. Release all resistance and cultivate inner stillness. But above all, remember that you are already that which you seek to become. You are already detached, already free, already complete. Your task is simply to remove the veils of illusion that obscure this truth. In every moment, you have a choice. You can choose to identify with your attachments and dependencies, or you can choose to align with your true, free nature. Make this choice consciously, make it with love, and make it again and again until it becomes your natural state of being. And know, my beloved friends, that as you walk this path of emotional detachment, you are not alone. The entire universe conspires to support you in your journey towards freedom. For in freeing yourself, you contribute to the freedom of all beings. May you go forth in peace, in love, and in the unshakable knowing of your own divine completeness. May you find the strength to detach from all that no longer serves you, and the courage to embrace the fullness of your true, liberated self. Remember, you are the creator of your reality. You are the author of your story. Write a story of freedom, of joy, of unconditional love. For that is your birthright, and it is within your power to claim it. Go now and be the embodiment of emotional freedom. Be the living proof that true love needs no attachment, that true strength comes from within, that true peace is your very nature. And as you do, know that you are fulfilling your highest purpose. For in freeing yourself, you light the way for others. In detaching from your own limitations, you help to liberate the world. This, my dear friends, is the ultimate gift of emotional detachment. It is not just a personal practice, but a service to all of humanity. For as you free yourself, you create a ripple effect that touches all those around you, inviting them to recognize their own inherent freedom. So go forth with courage, with faith, and with the unwavering conviction that emotional detachment is not just possible, but inevitable. For it is the truth of your being waiting to be realized. May you be blessed on your journey. May you find the strength to persist in these practices. And may you come to know, beyond all doubt, the joy and peace that comes from true emotional freedom.